Imagine for a moment that everything you struggle with, your fears, your insecurities, aren't just obstacles standing in your way, but signposts guiding you to your true purpose. What if the answers to who you are and what you're meant to do lie hidden within the very aspects of yourself you've been trying to avoid, suppress, or deny? Today we'll embark on a journey to explore one of the most profound ideas in both psychology and philosophy, Carl Jung's concept of the shadow. This isn't just an abstract theory, it's a doorway to deep personal transformation. By the time we finish, you'll not only have a better understanding of your shadow, but you'll also uncover how it holds the key to unlocking your potential, finding your true purpose, and stepping into a life of freedom. Carl Jung, a trailblazer in depth psychology, introduced the idea of the shadow as the unconscious part of our psyche that we often reject or refuse to acknowledge. This shadow is made up of the traits, desires, and elements of our personality that we deem unacceptable, flawed, or shameful. But here's the paradox. Within that very shadow lies the potential for our greatest growth and fulfillment. Think about it. How often do you suppress certain thoughts, feelings, or behaviors because they make you uncomfortable? How frequently do you judge others for characteristics that, deep down, you may recognize in yourself? If you've ever found yourself reacting strongly to someone else's actions, chances are it's because they've triggered something within your own shadow. Jung famously said, "Everything that irritates you about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves." The shadow isn't just about darkness or negative traits. It's about untapped potential, the energy and qualities that we suppress due to fear or shame. Now take a moment to reflect on your own life. Are there parts of yourself that you keep hidden, both from others and even from your own consciousness? Perhaps it's a deep fear of failure, a buried anger, or a feeling of envy that you're not proud of. Maybe it's a suppressed desire or passion that you've labeled as impractical or shameful. What if these qualities aren't flaws to be eliminated, but messages waiting for you to listen? Jung argued that by confronting and integrating our shadow, we can achieve a process he called individuation, a journey toward becoming whole. This process isn't easy. It requires immense courage, brutal honesty, and a willingness to embrace the unknown. But the rewards are invaluable. According to Jung, individuation is the process of discovering your true self, not just the version you present to the world, but the complete, authentic person who embodies both light and shadow. Jung believed that real personal growth doesn't come from rejecting our darker side. It comes from fully embracing it. Think about this in every mythological story. Heroes face moments of confrontation with their inner darkness. Take Hercules, for instance. He had to face not only physical monsters, but also his own internal struggles, such as his impulsive rage and lack of control. Or Luke Skywalker in Star Wars, who had to confront the darkness within himself before he could fully embrace his role as a Jedi. These tales aren't just fictional. They reflect the internal struggles we all face. The question now is, are you ready to take that first step toward your own inner hero's journey? Are you ready to face the parts of yourself you've been running from and ask, what lesson are they trying to teach me? Jung's philosophy reveals that our shadow isn't something to be feared or resisted, but something to be understood and integrated. It communicates with us through our dreams, emotions, and even our relationships. Have you ever had a recurring dream or felt an inexplicable pull to a person or idea? These could be signs that your shadow is trying to get your attention. The process of shadow work begins with awareness. Pay attention to those moments when you react disproportionately to something, or when certain people or situations seem to trigger you in ways that seem excessive or irrational. These are often the clues that point to the hidden parts of yourself you've neglected or rejected. Once you start to identify these traits within yourself, the next step is acceptance. This doesn't mean acting on every impulse or indulging in every desire. IT means acknowledging these parts of you without judgment and understanding the role they play in your life. Imagine how liberating IT would be to stop fearing your flaws and instead see them as tools for personal growth. Envision how much more confident, authentic you could be by embracing your full self, both the light and the shadow. In the next sections, we'll dive deeper into how you can begin identifying and integrating your shadow. We'll explore practical steps to turn what feels like darkness into light, and how this process can lead you to uncover your true purpose. Stay with us, because the final revelation we're about to explore might just change the course of your life. Let's continue our journey into the depths of the shadow and see how understanding this hidden part of yourself can unlock not only your purpose, but also an enduring sense of inner peace. The shadow can manifest in countless ways. It may show up in your habits, in your relationships, or especially in your reactions to others. Think back to an emotional outburst you've had. One where you later wondered why you reacted so intensely. That emotional surge is often the shadow revealing itself, and it may have taken you by surprise. But why does the shadow have such power over us? Jung believed it's because of its unconscious nature. The more we deny or suppress something about ourselves, the more control IT gains over us. It's like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. The more effort you put into suppressing IT, the more violently IT will resurface when you least expect IT. Now consider this. If you could bring these hidden aspects of yourself to the surface and begin to understand their origins, how much more control would you have over your life? How much freer would you feel, knowing that the very things you feared are, in fact, there to guide you? One of the most powerful aspects of shadow work is projection. Jung suggested that when we refuse to accept parts of ourselves, we often project those traits onto others. For example, if you struggle with feelings of inadequacy, you might find yourself criticizing others who appear overly confident, or dismissing those who excel in areas where you feel insecure. This isn't a mere coincidence. It's a mirror the world reflects back to us. The parts of ourselves we haven't yet come to terms with. Jung put it this way: knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darkness of other people. Pause for a moment. Is there someone in your life who triggers a strong emotional response in you? IT could be a colleague, a friend, or even a family member. Instead of focusing on their behavior, ask yourself, what does this reaction reveal about me? What part of my shadow am I projecting onto them? This isn't about blaming yourself. It's about self-discovery. Every projection offers an opportunity to reclaim a piece of yourself, to bring it into the light of your conscious awareness. Now let's dive deeper into how the shadow is connected to your purpose. Often the aspects of ourselves we try to suppress are closely tied to our unique gifts and passions. For instance, someone who has stifled their creativity out of fear of failure may find that embracing this suppressed side is the key to discovering their life's work. Jung believed that purpose isn't something you find outside of yourself. It's something you uncover from within. It's about aligning with your true, authentic self, which includes both light and shadow. As Jung said, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. But how do we begin to align with our authentic self? The first step is self-inquiry. Ask yourself questions that challenge your assumptions about who you are. What do I fear most about myself? What have I been told is unacceptable about me? What dreams or passions have I abandoned because I thought they were impractical or unworthy? Write these down and reflect on them. You might be surprised by what emerges when you give your shadow the space to speak. Journaling is another powerful tool for shadow work. Jung himself kept detailed journals, using them as a way to explore his unconscious mind. He often encouraged his patients to record their dreams, as dreams are a direct line to the unconscious. Pay attention to recurring symbols or themes in your dreams or day-to-day life. Ask yourself, what message might my unconscious be trying to convey? Now let's consider the transformative power of integrating your shadow. Imagine a painter who refuses to use dark colors in their work. Their paintings might be beautiful, but they will lack depth and contrast. When we refuse to embrace our shadow, we limit ourselves to only one side of our humanity. But when we embrace the full spectrum of our experience, both the light and the dark, we create something richer, fuller, and more authentic. Integration doesn't mean acting on every dark impulse or letting the shadow dominate your life. IT means accepting these aspects as part of who you are and using them as tools for growth and transformation. This process of acceptance fosters compassion, not only for yourself but also for others. You begin to recognize that everyone carries a shadow, and this shared experience connects us all on a deeper level. The journey to embrace your shadow is not a one-time event. It's an ongoing process that requires patience, courage, and a commitment to self-discovery. But the rewards are immense. You will gain clarity about your true purpose, a deeper sense of inner peace, and the ability to live with authenticity. Here's a profound truth. Your purpose is not just about you. Jung believed that our individuation contributes to the collective unconscious, the shared pool of human experiences. When you confront your shadow and align with your true self, you're not just transforming your own life, you are contributing to the collective growth of humanity. In the next section, we'll explore practical steps for integrating your shadow into your daily life. We'll talk about how embracing this hidden side can lead to healthier relationships, greater creativity, and a life that feels truly aligned with who you are. The most powerful revelation is yet to come. Stay with us as we uncover how the shadow holds the key to your destiny and how understanding IT can transform your entire life. As we continue this exploration of the shadow, let's consider the deeper layers of what IT means to truly integrate this part of ourselves. It's one thing to acknowledge the shadow, but it's quite another to live in harmony with IT. This is the crux of individuation. As Jung described, IT a lifelong process of becoming the fullest version of yourself by embracing not only your light, but also your darkness. To live in harmony with your shadow, you must actively invite IT into your consciousness. This isn't a passive observation. IT requires engagement, interaction, and understanding. It's easy to imagine that the shadow simply wants to be accepted, but it's far more dynamic than that. IT wants to be understood, nurtured, and given a constructive outlet. As you reflect on your experiences and triggers, you begin to see that your shadow doesn't simply represent negative emotions or behaviors. IT also holds immense potential for growth and transformation. Let's return to the idea of vulnerability, something we touched on earlier. Vulnerability is not about weakness. It's the courageous act of confronting and expressing the full range of who you are, including the parts of yourself you've kept hidden for fear of judgment. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you open the door to connection, not just with others but also with your own truth. By revealing your own shadows, you create a space where others feel safe to do the same. This mutual vulnerability builds trust, empathy, and deeper relationships. Moreover, integrating the shadow doesn't just influence your internal world and relationships. IT can transform your external reality. When you live authentically, no longer at war with yourself, you align with a deeper sense of purpose. You nitrogen monoxide longer feel the need to hide behind false facades. Your actions become driven by a sense of integrity and authenticity in the workplace. In creative pursuits, or in any area of life, you become less concerned with seeking external validation because you have already accepted your own worth. This leads to a greater sense of fulfillment and achievement. In fact, the more we integrate our shadows, the less we are swayed by external pressures or expectations. The result is a life of greater autonomy and clarity. Jung referred to this as achieving wholeness, a state of self-acceptance where we nitrogen monoxide longer seek to fragment into acceptable and unacceptable parts. Wholeness means that every experience, every emotion, and every aspect of our being has its rightful place in the larger narrative of our lives. This state of integration also brings peace. No longer do we have to expend energy repressing or denying parts of ourselves. We stop being at odds with our emotions and behaviors, and instead we start working with them. For example, your anger, ONCE, viewed as destructive or shameful, can now be recognized as a powerful force for change. And action, your jealousy, instead of being seen as a flaw, can be a signal pointing to your desires or unmet needs. Each emotion, each aspect of the shadow, offers insight into what is missing or needed for your growth. Another important dimension of shadow integration is its impact on our choices. When we refuse to acknowledge our shadow, we make decisions from a place of fear, insecurity, or avoidance. We may procrastinate, sabotage our own success, or react impulsively. But as we become more attuned to our shadow, we start making choices that are more aligned with our authentic selves. We become more decisive, more conscious of our needs, and better able to navigate the challenges life presents. This doesn't mean we'll never make mistakes, but we will make them with greater awareness and understanding, knowing that they are part of our growth journey. As we integrate the shadow, our purpose also becomes clearer. Purpose isn't just about fulfilling external expectations. It's about aligning with the deeper truths of who we are. When we embrace the parts of ourselves we've long avoided, we discover a wellspring of energy and motivation. Our purpose doesn't feel forced or dictated by outside influences. It flows naturally from the core of who we are. It's nitrogen monoxide, longer a distant goal, but something we stepped into every day by living authentically and fully. Let's pause and consider this. How many people live their lives feeling disconnected from their true purpose, struggling to find meaning in their work, relationships, or personal pursuits? Often this disconnection arises from a lack of integration with the shadow. When we deny parts of ourselves, we also deny the unique combination of qualities that make us who we are in essence. We limit the potential for fulfillment and growth. But when we accept and integrate our shadow, we unlock the full spectrum of our humanity. And in doing so, our true purpose becomes more apparent. And here's the most profound part of all. Embracing your shadow is not a solitary act. It has the power to shift not only your life, but also the world around you. Jung believed that when individuals integrate their shadow, they contribute to the collective healing of humanity. Every time we confront our darkness, we lessen the projections and judgments we place on others. We cultivate compassion, understanding, and acceptance, values that are desperately needed in our world today. Imagine a society where people are nitrogen monoxide, longer afraid of their shadows, where individuals are free to express their true selves without fear of judgment or rejection. This world would be one where creativity flows freely. Relationships are built on trust and authenticity, and people work together in harmony instead of conflict. The more we embrace our shadows, the more we empower others to do the same, creating a ripple effect of transformation. Now I want to leave you with a challenge. Take one small step today toward embracing your shadow. Whether it's through journaling, meditation, or simply paying attention to your emotional triggers, commit to the practice of self-inquiry. Ask yourself, what parts of myself have I been hiding? What would I look like if I welcomed these aspects into my life? Take the time to reflect, to dialogue with your shadow, and to bring awareness to those hidden parts of yourself. In the end, shadow work is not about perfection. It's about wholeness. It's about accepting yourself fully, light, dark, and everything in between. And as you do so, you'll find yourself living with greater freedom, purpose, and authenticity. You'll be able to tap into the immense creative potential that has always been within you. You'll feel more connected to yourself, to others, and to the world. And in doing so, you'll begin to live a life that is not only deeply fulfilling, but also aligned with the highest version of yourself. This journey isn't easy, but it's one worth taking. The shadow may feel daunting, but it is also the key to unlocking the next level of your personal and collective growth. So embrace it, welcome it. Let it be your guide as you step into the full expression of who you are meant to be. Thank you for continuing this journey with me. I believe that as you integrate your shadow, you will not only transform your life, but also contribute to the collective transformation of humanity. Together, we can create a world where people live authentically, fearlessly, and with purpose. Your shadow is not something to hide from. It's a treasure waiting to be uncovered.